Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Hi, Nick. Hi, Arky. Oh, I'm so glad to see you guys. You know, it's been a hot minute. Equalizer. It's been a hot minute since I've been on, and I'm so sorry, you guys. But I had to take a break. I had stuff I had to get done. How's everyone doing? It's good to see you guys. So good. I've missed you guys. I'm actually nervous. Like I feel like a total noob right now. I know it sounds funny, but I do. But I wanted to share my new studio. I'm like kind of like really excited. But I can't share it yet. Like I have to have you guys like kind of want to see it. It's pretty cool. Well, at least I think it's cool. How are you doing, Nick? Arky, how was your day? Brr, I'm a little chilly. You're great. That is awesome. I am going to drop a link and I'm going to pin it. If I can remember how. I think I did it. I think I did. I know, Arky. I'm so excited. We gotta kind of like, work up to it. Like, I'm not as suspenseful as most. Okay, I'm not as good at being suspenseful as some. What I can do. Let me try something. I don't remember how to do this. Let's see if I can remember. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, there it is. The button. Let's see. Can you see me? Okay, hurry. Hello. Long time no see. Is it laggy? I have that little connection thing up at the top, so I don't know how laggy it is. I'm still working on internet issues. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. Let's see. So let's get into it. So I've been doing a lot of remodeling. I'm like shy right now for some reason. It's so weird. Let's see. Yes, I did. Yes. I'm so tempted to just show it. I'm having issues. Hi, Watcher of Crazy. You have made it to the big time. Is the mic okay? Does everything sound okay? Because, this is the first time I've been on since I moved. So let me shrink this down. So let's start off with some music. I know I'll probably get flagged, but who cares? So I'm going to pause this for a moment. Let's see, what should we do? Let's try this. Miss Watcher. And what's SL? Does that say SL? He got a call. Who got a call? Oh, Miss Shack Lady. I hope he just goes through with his Rumble. What's on his Rumble? Now you have me all curious. Like, I really, really, really want to know. I want to know as bad as you want to see what's behind this purple screen. In all honesty, my opinions on sharing people's personal information is that's not kosher. It's not kosher in my book. It's supposed to be all about you. Well, what I can say is you can go ahead and let him, do what he does and save the information. And it'll be, I have to look at it this way. It'll be his own doing. That's anyone that does that in that sense is, they're burying themselves. Show it. Okay. We'll play some music and then I'll show it. Okay? Okay. Let's. Oh no, you've blocked me on Facebook and now you're going to die. Oh, goodness. See what happens when you all keep me up late at night? Okay, I'm back. So, do you want to see what's back here? Yes. Arky, you're so cute. Burr. I'm like nervous. So weird. Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? Virtual background. Maybe I'll just give you a little peek. Just a little peek. Ah. What do you think? Here. There. What's behind door number 1? Voila! So what do you think? Well, thank you, Watcher. I've worked very, very, very hard on it. Very hard. Oh, she's going to get on the PC. Woohoo! Yes, vintage retro. You know something? I think that Jim and Mr. X, my little crushes, you know what I think they will love? Do you want to see? Too bad they're not here to say hi. 1 second. I could so see them using this as a prop. What do you think? Check, 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 check. Isn't it cute? Do-do-do-do. I need that guitar. This, oh, what's over here? This one? Oh, thank you. Wouldn't they love this? They would love this. I am still, don't tell anyone. I am still looking for a Mickey Mouse. Remember the old Mickey Mouse telephones? I'm still looking for one of those. But as soon as I find one, you just wait. But I think this would be a great prop for the show. Yes. La 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 la. I know. I won't give up my day job. So the guitar, I modified it. I had one of those little LED spinny things and I stuck it in the middle to help light it up more. The Mickey Mouse telephone, isn't that great? I love them. They're so cute. And it's like kind of like retro looking. There. Let's see. So every one of my stores, a little secret, every one of my stores has always had this theme. And I decided that I wanted to integrate that into the studio. I'm not really for the like green screen backdrops thing. I like it being more realistic. So this is like I have my therapy couch. I don't know which way you can see. I have my therapy couch here. So when I do just straight videos, like I'll just do them from the couch instead of from my desk. Um, I'm very, very excited to start doing like just regular videos and then just posting them and then having my lives on top of it. I will be going over quite a bit of like different social issues. Yes, it's warm and cozy, and the puppy dog has a place to hang out and lay down now. Except for, I don't know, I have a good friend who would love your Marilyn. So, can you see her? Oh, the Stein right here. This one. I also have a picture. Hold on just one moment. I think I moved it. But I have another big one of her. Hold on. Well, maybe next time I'll put it up. I normally have another picture of her over here. Like, she's normally right there. But I was moving things around earlier. This one. Or over there. I'm so lost. Ah! I love Marilyn. Well, and Audrey Hepburn. They're my two favorites. Yes. Okay, I can take this mic down. Check. Yes. Oh, the sitting on the tires. Isn't she adorable? I also have Rosie the Riveter. Yes. But she's not up either. Still a little bit of a work in progress. For the majority, I am done. Yeah. Turn to my right. This way. Right here. Isn't it cute? And so this is a gas pump right here. And then I have another one over here that you can't, you might be able to see it in the corner. Oh no, it's right out of view. And it has my thing 1 and thing 2 little, what would they call them? They're not like dingle balls, but they're not like the balls I normally wear, but they, the thing 1, thing 2. So is on my gas pump at the moment. Let me put this little on the air mic away. Anyways, I thought that it's too dark. Over here is too dark. I'm working on lighting. I don't have all of my LEDs up yet, but I'm working on it. Oh, you like it dark? Oh, gotcha. Let's see. So who's going to come up and chit chat with me? Just one moment. I'm back. Time for me to hit the hay. Oh my God, that was creepy. What was creepy? Oh, the hand. Nighty night, watcher. Please keep me updated on how you're doing. I know she wanted to jump on live, and I was like, no, you never know who's going to be in here or what's going to be going on. Oh, the hand. I know. I hope Watcher caught that before she left. Where did Nick go? Arky, are you going to come up and hang out with me? And where's Equalizer? He was in here. He's like ditching out on me. So Arkansas, are you ready for some more bingo? I've missed playing bingo. He has been trying to get through on others tonight. You know, I had him blocked. I don't know how to unblock him. I don't know. I wonder how to. You're welcome to come up. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can see if. Oh, there. I removed it. Okay. Let's see if GS vlog comes up. That'll be funny. Don't what? Oh, don't unblock him or do block him? Keep him blocked? Aw, that's not nice. What if he decides to be nice? Well, I mean, I think he's always kind of nice. He's not really a bad guy. Oh, he's a creepy weirdo. I haven't seen him in forever. Hold on. Say his name or he will. Beetlejuice? I wonder if he still gets my notifications that I'm on. I guess we'll find out, huh? I wish there was a way I could turn this down more without it being so intrusively loud. Well, maybe it just sounds loud to me. Maybe not you guys. Get to know. I'm good. How are you? How are you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome in. You're just alive? So tell us about yourself, Get. Equalizer, are you working? I think he's up working late. Ah. See, normally I'm in bed by now. I'm being kind of naughty. And I want to know what's going on. I want you to tell me how you really feel. I'm disappointed in how things have been going lately. You have a channel for abuse too. I don't want to abuse anybody here. Is that what you mean, Arkansas? But you're welcome to retaliate all you want. Oh, the get to know stop. Oh, they have a channel for that? Well, maybe they should tell us about what they think. Well, I am a person who thinks that the laws and penalties when it comes to SA committed against children changed much. Children changed too much. Harsher penalties. So what do you think about those? Equalizer! Hi, Equalizer.
I got a minute.
How are you?
I like the new studio.
Do you like it?
I like all the wall art. I like the flashing guitar. I think Marilyn's pretty hot. I can't tell the. I can't really tell what the diamond thing is above your head. What is that?
So that says tattoos on it. Tattoos and piercings. Can you see it now?
I don't know much about that. I'm thinking about getting a piercing though.
Ah, where are you going to get a piercing?
Right on my lip. Like a
labret?
Yeah.
I don't have them here. I have it here.
Oh.
I have the Maryland one.
Nice. What's
so
the Maryland one?
Get to know. The Maryland one is the one that's right here. That's the one I have. Yeah. Said that the laws should be harsher penalties for those that SA violent sexual offenders for children.
I read that. I couldn't tell if they were for it or against it.
He says it needs to be changed to harsher penalties. He corrected himself. Probably, and I have to agree.
Like a tree chipper. That'd be a good penalty.
So there is a 3-strike rule, 3 strikes and you're out. What they don't seem to realize is, statistically speaking, the 3-strike rule does not work for sexual violent crimes because it's more of an illness than it is like someone robbing a bank or stealing a car. So it's more of a sick mental illness that someone has that cannot be rehabbed back into society. They have issues. And so when you get the opportunity to have 3 strikes, I could give you the statistics. I wrote a paper on it for college. And men who abuse, men that abuse boys, the average is about 200 offenses before being caught the first time. We'll just say that.
Whereas you can't lock them all up, or Hollywood would be done.
If you could lock them up after the first one and throw away the key, or just set them on fire, or, I'm down for some corporal punishment when it comes to those type of offenses. And there's just places it's just, it does need to be much more strict.
Yeah. Tree chipper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a pond with sharks.
Piranhas.
I
am a piranha.
Mm-hmm. Piranhas are good.
So he says, so that is what I am trying to do, to get the laws changed to fit most atrocious crimes that a person can commit against any person at all. Very nice. Very, very nice. I have all kinds of statistics in this problem. Yes,
I like statistics.
so do I. It's a very hard class, though.
Yeah.
You get more time for drugs. No shit, Arkansas.
That's true.
And I think it's because they have a harder time with proving the crime in certain aspects versus if someone's high, they're high. If they're not, they're not. You know what I mean? The evidence to prove that type of crime is much easier than an essay or yeah. I'm not sure exactly all we can say, but my channel is a learning channel, so I've never been flagged for saying like sexual assault or anything like that. So
YouTube's such a little bitch about things lately, though. They'll go for anything, it seems like, as far as a strike.
you know, well, I think that YouTube strikes those that are in the wrong.
Well, maybe. That's probably true.
Yeah. If you are doing something wrong or morally value is wrong, then I think YouTube has been doing a pretty decent job about handling certain situations.
Yeah.
I think it's a she, possibly.
Who's a she?
Tony! No, Get to Know, I believe, is a gentleman. I just went to his page and I just subscribed to you, Get to Know. If you could, can you put your link, Get to Know, in the chat? We have a surprise guest.
Who is
Yes,
it?
we do. Marcy!
Hi. I'm sorry I fell asleep.
Oh, honey, you're okay. I was so nervous. I sat here and contemplated the meaning of life for 45 minutes, and then I still didn't want to come on.
Did you come up with any answers on the meaning of life?
Oh, nope. I just sat here stressed out, and I'm still shivering. Like, I'm still like kind of like nervous, fidgeting and shivering and stuff, just because I haven't been up here for what, like almost 2 months, Marcy?
Yeah, I know, but you have Equalizer, you have me, you have Arkansas, you have Tony 801.
I know, and I love you guys.
And I see that there's a person Get to Know stuff, which I am not familiar with this person, but it seems like you're very much surrounded and supported right now, so it's a good thing.
Yes, and this Get to Know also has a DVSA channel.
Oh.
Yes.
And they're against it, not for it.
I'm very good, Tony. How are you, love? Well, I came up to keep you company. I don't want to take you and Equalizer's conversation away.
Well, you're good because I got to get back to work.
Equalizer has to work.
How are the kitties?
They meow a lot.
They're what?
Oh, those kitties. No, they don't meow yet.
That's good to hear, Tony. Do we have an updated picture, maybe?
Not at the current second, but I will have something later.
Okay.
Okay, bye. I gotta go, guys.
All right. Be careful.
Bye.
I hope I didn't make him go away. Uh-oh. Yes, Arkansas, they are off the shelf. Equalizer has shown pictures of them. He has them in a box somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but they are off the shelf. Oh, Inky is lagging.
Am I better now?
Oh, yes. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I love your hair. Looks so
Thank you.
cute.
Get to know. You're more than welcome to come up and we can discuss this. There should be a link pinned.
Oh, Equalizer says they're in a box in their own bathroom. So there you go.
Aw.
He's a very good cat daddy, from what it seems.
He's a Mew Mew Pops.
Yes. He's kind of somebody I guess we would say Happy Mother's Day to last weekend, even though he's not a mommy, but he's a good cat daddy. So
Aw, that is so cute, don't you think?
it is.
Cat daddy.
I don't, it's funny. I never really knew many men who were into cats. Most of the men that I knew were, they favored dogs instead. But as I get older, I am meeting more and more men that really adore cats and they actually prefer them over dogs. And I don't know if it's an age thing or I'm just meeting different types of men now. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's sweet.
Wow. I think it's cute when men are able to be like soft and emotional with their animals and like compassionate and be able to show those sides. I've seen that quite a few times on other programs where, they bring their little animals and yeah, I think it's really cute because men are, they always want to put on this persona that they have to be rough and tough, but they can be soft and squishy too, I think.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar or not, but Inky has this one word that she uses that I love when she's describing like a very soft, gentle man. She calls them squishy. And I love that word. And I don't, I really don't think any man would ever be offended by being called squishy because it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
I think it's cute.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to get to know Stop.
Mm-hmm.
That
He
is
said just a moment.
that's an odd YouTube name. I wonder what the Stop is all about.
It's supposed to it's called G2K, Protect the Children. This is his page. I don't know if you can see it. And it says trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. But it's to help bring awareness to laws and such. So this will be interesting. I'm very curious. Yes.
Definitely a channel I think I'd like to go and subscribe to.
Yes. There is a link in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Here,
Arkansas, I feel like we haven't really had a chance to talk to you much. How are you doing now, love? I know things have been kind of rough for you the past couple weeks.
Thank you, Arky. She dropped the link again.
I see.
So you can click on it and then you can go check it out.
I'm going to open it in a new tab. You're over it all? Okay. I'm going to assume that's a good thing.
Is. Arkansas is good like that. That's why we love Arky.
Oh. This looks really cool. Teach your kids to make them stop.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Amen.
Yeah. Definitely subscribing. Definitely.
Teach your kids. Like, I am not a fan of my kids being on the internet, like the social part of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can play video games and whatnot. And there's no game that my kids play that I don't have an account, that I can't check and see what they're doing or be able to get on their device or whatever. because it is not something I am kosher with. I am not good with it. I could not let my kids just be willy-nilly, and with the people out there these days, the access that they now have to our kids on a completely different level than it has ever been in my lifetime.
Right.
It's
Right.
absurd. It is absurd.
And I'm not trying to boast as a mom. I just know that when my kids, who are now in their 20s and 30s, were young, they could not have a cell phone until they were at least 13. And it was more for the purposes of calling me or dad, because by the time my son was 13, dad and I were divorced. Calling us for like rides home if they had to stay after school for a sport or, something. Ride home from work, because my kids, all three of them, worked as teenagers. And their dad and I decided that we would split their paychecks in half. So whatever they got for the week, they could keep half of it, and half of it we put into a bank account for them for when they got older and got cars, and it was like gas money and things like that for them. And also they could not have Facebook accounts until they were 13. And we had to have the login information. And if we couldn't just pick up their laptop or their phone and log right into their account with the information that we had, then we took the phone or the laptop away. We bought them, so technically they belong to us. And that's how their dad and I managed.
Well, we have a new guest, Marzi. His name is Get to Know. He has a DV channel, SA channel. It's against DVSA. I could be mistaken on the DV, but I do believe, he could explain more about it. And I'm going to bring him up and let him tell you about himself.
Great.
Welcome. Get to Know.
Hi.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm alive. I'm not going to complain about that.
Anytime you can say that, it's a good day. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Right. And pleasure to meet you guys as well.
So how long have you had your channel?
June 12th will be 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's not a very popular subject, so it's not a very popular channel, but we're doing some good, I think.
Wow. I have to agree. It's not an easy topic to discuss. It's easier for us to discuss it than it is for others to listen. Is what it is.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Yep, it is.
However, I find in my treks around these YouTube streets that both of your topics come up quite a bit, no matter what the genre is for any particular channel. And I'm sure that you are advertising out there, but we need to kind of get your name out there a little bit more, because I think you would have a lot more people come and listen and participate because I didn't know you were there. So, and I definitely would have jumped in. Definitely.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
I did.
So tell us about your channel.
All right. First, a little bit about me. I'm 43. I'm married. I have the most amazing wife in the world. We've been together for 18 years and been married for 17 years. We're survivors. We're both survivors of childhood sexual abuse. I was sexually abused by my dad's cousin / best friend, and my wife was abused by her stepdad.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't say that. I don't want to sound rude, but you're not the one that did it to me. So like, you know what I mean? I understand what you mean when you're saying you're sorry. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know. You're not the one that did it to me, so there's nothing to apologize about.
I get that.
I'm actually it's gonna actually sound kind of messed up what I'm about to say, but I'm actually, if I could go back in my life and change it, I wouldn't, because it's made me the person I am today, and I'm so passionate about what I do that it doesn't matter to me if I have 10 subscribers or 2 million subscribers. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do, because there's a child that's being sexually abused. You're coming up on 55 minutes of being live, and in 5 minutes after that, there will have been 30 new children that has had their innocence taken away from them by somebody for being sexually abused.
Oh, Lord.
One child every 2 minutes is the statistic.
Yes.
And if you think about it, I mean, that's just the ones that get reported. You know what I mean? And like the numbers and statistics that you see out there, they don't bring the actual number to light, because a lot of people don't know that here in the United States, they don't keep any kind of documentation for statistics, for record keeping on children below from the ages of 12 and under.
Wow.
And that's one of the biggest categories of children age groups that are abused is 12 and under. I fit into that category. My abuser, he started molesting me at, it's the summer I turned 5, because I don't remember if it happened if the first time happened before I turned 5 or right after I turned 5, but it was right in there. My birthday's right in the middle of the summer, right in July. So, and it stopped right before I turned 12 or right after I turned 12. Basically, as soon as he knew that I started growing pubic hair, he lost interest in me. I had my first.
Were you able to tell your parents?
I was, but not until years later down the road. I did a live on my channel a couple months back, and it's called "Secrets Will Be Revealed," and I get into some details about what happened to me that I've never even disclosed to my wife, and
wow,
it's gut wrenching for sure. I didn't tell my parents until I was almost 17 years old. Now, it started out with just simple touching and stuff, and then it progressed into performing oral and anal with 2 men at the same time, you know.
You have to
And
be a little less graphic, I think.
Okay.
For YouTube's sake.
I apologize.
Arkansas, thank you for that.
Thank you, Arkansas.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is get anybody in trouble. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to get in trouble over me. So,
I mean, I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to say a couple of things. It's difficult on YouTube because we know that people under 18 are, you know, on YouTube and checking out things, and I can understand YouTube's point and that they really want to curtail certain verbiage just because you never know who's going to accidentally come across a site that it might not be appropriate for them. However, I applaud you for this being your format, because I agree with Inky. It's really not difficult to talk about if you've had a situation like this. The more you talk about it, I think the easier it gets. I think it is more difficult for people to listen to, and I think there's a point in time where people need to say to themselves, you know what, I need to kind of step out of my comfort zone. I need to hear these things. I need to think about these things. I need to discuss these things with other people. Um, because
Right.
I think it's important. I mean, I will say I was very blessed in my childhood and young adulthood. I never had an SA situation. I never witnessed a DV situation in my family, either side or my parents. But I
Wow.
certainly do know enough people in my life who have. And I was very uncomfortable with both of those topics at first. And I learned to become comfortable to a sense with them because, there could have been somebody living on my street when I was growing up that was going through what you went through.
Right.
And how would I have known? And
Exactly.
not that my parents were afraid to talk to us because they weren't. It just wasn't a conversation that was had. And I think it needs to be had. I need others around people who are going through these traumatic cases need to be aware of what to look for and what they can do to help. So
Right. Absolutely.
I am very grateful for what you do, and I am very glad to meet you.
Feelings mutual.
Thank you.
Um, my biggest focus on this is there's been some people out there saying that like I'm claiming to be a child advocate, and I don't. I've never said I was. I never said I will be. I'm glad that there are people out there to be advocates for children that fall into this category. However, that's not me. That's not me. Um, I am an advocate to get the laws and the penalties changed to much harsher and much stricter sentences because I'm a firm believer that if you want somebody to stop doing something, you need to make the penalty for doing it so extreme that they're going to want to just voluntarily not do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
it, like my brother-in-law just got sentenced to 31 years in prison, in federal prison and state prison between the two of them for drug trafficking. Now, don't get me
Wow.
wrong. I'm not condoning drug trafficking. I'm not condoning it at all because it's illegal. It's wrong. You shouldn't do it, especially the drugs that he was trafficking. But what got me was I call them parasites on my channel. I don't call them pedos. I call them parasites on my channel.
Okay.
Because to me, that's what they are. They're just a parasite. And there was a parasite that got sentenced right before him, and he was standing in front of a federal judge for his 5th time of the same crime, and it legitimately he was getting sentenced for possession of child exploited material, production of child exploited material, and receiving child exploited material.
And
And
he only got
the
how
judge,
long?
5 years.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that ridiculous? Doesn't that make you
5
want to get
years.
sick to your stomach?
It makes me sick to my stomach. I was sitting in the court when the judge read out his sentence, and then he sentenced my brother-in-law to 31 years. And I don't even care for my brother-in-law. You know what I mean? Like he's not my type of person. So, but
Yet
there's
you're
just
sentenced to the rest of your life. You're sentenced
yeah,
to dealing with this for the rest of your life.
exactly,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Like people don't get it. Like I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I don't really care. I don't care when it comes to this subject. I really don't have a filter when it comes to it. But to me, a person who commits an SA crime against a child, they are committing the worst crime in the world, even worse than murder. I mean, at least a murder victim only has to go through it one time. Myself, being a victim of SA as a child, I have to relive that every single day of my life for the rest of my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying that murder is okay, because I mean it's a pretty heinous crime, but whereas I gotta relive the victimization every single time I wake up in the morning it just seems like this the penalties for this crime would be much harsher. And I got my own reservations on why they are so light, but
Yeah, we get into that, we'll start getting into conspiracy issues.
exactly.
And we'll be here
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah. Our,
You
our,
know,
our channel will get struck for saying that we're thinking of conspiracy things.
Right.
right.
And
Right.
I agree with him. And he didn't even have to say it. Law enforcement brushes it under the rug, or they don't want to deal with it. I can think of numerous things that I went through within my own family unit. Hence, my channel is not just an SADV channel. It is a portion of my nonprofit for domestic violence.
Right.
And it has become like my mainstay in life, like my drive. And it has been my drive since I was in college. And
Amazing.
one of the things was same thing. I wanted to bring awareness to how the laws. My paper was on the 3-strike rule. They get 3 opportunities before they get life.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 opportunities.
And then still, I mean, I don't know what states you guys live in, or if you even live in the United States, but I live in Idaho, and here in Idaho, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. There was a parasite that got sentenced, and he was. I kind of understand where the judge was coming from for 1 second, but then I just totally lose all respect for him because of the sentence he hands down. But this parasite was 24 years old, and he had 2 victims that he repeatedly victimized for a period of 5 years apiece. And because he was so young, and I'm using air quotes here, because he was so young and he has a chance to rehabilitate and change his life, the judge
They're
gave
not
him 7
rehabbable.
years. No, I'm a firm believer that they're not. Absolutely, they're not. There's no way to save them once they cross that line. But for what he did, the charges that he got charged with 19 different charges, ranging from lewd and lascivious to enticing over the internet and possession of child pornography. And the judge gave him 7 years. But turned around and suspended 5 years of it, and he's only got to do 2 years in prison.
Oh my God.
Now here's what I got a major problem with. When it comes to an SA victim getting justice, when a prosecuting attorney takes that case and it comes to the end of that trial, and they approach the defense, and they give the defense attorney and the defendant a plea bargain. You plead guilty to this charge and this charge, and we'll drop all these charges, and you won't have to register as a sex offender. Now, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The one main thing that we want to change is no plea deals for sex crimes. None.
Nope.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't care. I don't care what the charge is. If it's a sex crime against a child, the rock bottom mandatory minimum sentence should be 15 years of charge in offense, up to life, up to even death, period. I did a live a couple months ago about a parasite in Florida who was 76 years old. And when they served the search warrant on his house, they found so much child exploited material that they had to put it on a car scale to weigh it. And it came in at over 2,600 pounds of individualized printed off pictures of children being SA'd from all age groups, from 17 down to, they estimate that the youngest one was about 6 months old.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
They found over 250,000 images of children being SA'd
And he
that he
probably sold
himself
them.
Oh, I
on the
guarantee.
13th?
I'm guarantee you did. Now, to me, that's a death sentence. To me, that's a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what
There's no.
he did that?
I'm still following it. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but
Oh, okay.
as the way it stands now, he's 76 years old. You know what I mean? He's literally gotten away with this. He didn't just start this habit at 76 years old. You know what I
I
mean?
was just thinking that same thing. I thought, well, now we know he didn't just start this behavior in the last year. I
Right.
mean,
So,
so 60 some odd years of doing this.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how many personal victims that is, but like, to put it into the kind of perspective, I did a live a couple weeks ago, or it's been a few months ago now, about a. Did you know? I'll throw this statistic out there real quick for you. If you get a divorce and you have children and you get remarried, and this isn't saying that this happens to everybody, but you raise your child's risk of being SA'd 99% by getting remarried and bringing the children into with a step parent or a step brother or step sister, or you know what I mean? You raise that risk of that child being SA'd by 99%. Now, there was this mom. She got a divorce from her husband. She had a 7-year-old daughter. She met this man who had a 12-year-old son. And about 6 months after they got married, she walked in on him SAing her daughter.
Oh my!
And when they arrested him and they went and interrogated this child, now ladies, seriously, hold on to your chairs, because this is going to blow your mind. Can you guess how many victims that this child had confessed to already having in his life? And he was just barely 13 when he confessed all this stuff.
No, I can't even.
31 separate individual victims by the age of 13.
Oh, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words. Oh my God.
It's pretty. My question about that is where did he learn that at? Because in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, being a parasite is a learned behavior. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people think that everybody that abuses a child, SAs a child, that they had to have been abused. Well, that's not the case. It's not the case. Whether a child gets on the internet and sees images of adults having intercourse or what have you, they're learning this behavior from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's teaching it to them by them being victimized themselves, or their parents ain't watching what they're doing on the internet. Or, I mean, there's a whole slew of things that it could possibly be.
I would like
mean?
to share.
So,
I would like to share a story because he is familiar with that case, and I believe I had discussed this case with Marzi before, behind the scenes, and I believe I had discussed the Green Mustang rapist with Marzi.
Yes.
So I'm going to share screen.
Everybody doing okay in chat? Just want to check in and make sure everyone's well-being is doing all right. It's a difficult subject, but it's necessary to talk about it.
Yep.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is in Fayetteville, Arkansas. A man who terrorized a California city as the Green Mustang rapist more than 40 years ago has begun 15 years of prison sentence in Arkansas. David Calvin Hodge of 68 pled guilty Friday to possession of methamphetamines by Circuit Judge G. Chad Mason. Sentenced Hodge to 30 years in prison with a 15-year suspended sentence. The
Mm.
sentence will be served concurrently.
Wow.
It's difficult to see you in a situation at this age, Mason said. If you get out of prison, try to avoid these circumstances. Okay, let me give you a little background history on this before I complete
Oh my
reading it.
God.
So
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
this man was originally arrested back in 1970 something. They had over 70 counts of rape, sodomy,
Mm.
kidnapping. And what they would do, they would take their victims to this place called Lover's Lane. Or they would get their victims from this place called Lover's Lane, you know, two teenage kids hanging out, making out, and he would hold the male at gunpoint and he would make them watch. But let me continue reading. It says the judge revoked Hodge's previous 8-year suspended sentence from 2006 for possession of methamphetamines with the intent to deliver. I'm sorry, Your Honor. That's all I can say. That's all he can say. He got out of prison in California, got locked back up again for picking up a girl in the airport district. Then went back to prison, got up, left, went to go live with his mother in Arkansas, and got busted again. Okay. He says Hodge was arrested in January at his Cleavager Drive duplex after his probation officer found more than 3 grams of meth in his robbery, kidnapping, rape, and other crimes. They didn't get specific, but I'll be more than happy to Google him. He does have a criminal record. Very long list. It says, according to a June 11th, 1972 report, the Modesto B. Hodge and another man targeted couples at Lover's Lane area in the 1970s. 1970 to 71, robbing them, sexually assaulting women. More than 10 victims were identified. That's completely mistaken because there was over 70 counts in their original arrest record.
Oh my God.
Hodge was sentenced to 83 years in prison. That man got out and he kept doing it. He was paroled and moved to Arkansas. He had over 30 counts of what we would consider a Class Y felony here. Oh, so they did put it down. So there was over 70 counts between the two of them. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. So no, they're not
That was all
rehabable.
done.
They're not. You can't. It's more than, you know, stealing a car. It's something that's in their head. It's just mentally they're incapable of doing it.
Now, am I
Exactly.
understanding this correctly in that this man got sentenced for drugs? He didn't get sentenced for the essay.
Yep, you read that right.
No, he did on this. He got busted for in Arkansas for drugs. Okay. In California, he was busted. Him and his cousin were busted for over 70 counts of SA, sodomy, kidnapping, etc.
They should have just been executed from the beginning.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, are you referring to there was a missing child, and when they went looking for the child, they found 7 people unalived? Is that the story you're referring to? Because I saw something on that weeks ago, but I was never able to really find anything significant about that story. And I caught that too. And you said Arkansas instead of Arkansas. I thought that was cute.
Did I say Arkansas?
Yeah, I was like, oh. So you look at that, Arkansas. Now you got us all screwed up.
Is this what she's talking about? 7 people found dead in Oklahoma were shot in the head, apparently murder, suicide, authorities say.
That's what because she said, where are they? I know I saw her put it in there.
I know, and I know better too. I know it's pronounced
Oh, look at
Arkansas.
the dude who unalived the 7 in Oklahoma. That's what she put in there, and I just wondered if that's the same story.
So it says a convicted rapist on trial on child pornography charges is believed to have fatally shot 6 people, 5 of them teenagers, before he died by suicide at the rural Oklahoma property where the kids were having a sleepover last weekend, authorities said on
Oh
Wednesday.
my God.
All of the victims were shot in the head, said Okmulgee Police Chief Joe Prentice. The spokesman for Violent Crime Task Force overseeing the investigation into killings outside of a small town of Henrietta. The suspect, Jesse McFadden, 39, also died of a gunshot wound to the head, Prentice said. Prentice identified the victims as
Did we lose? Oh, okay. You're going in and out. Iggy's been having some difficulty with her internet. We're not sure what's going on. We think something in the area is kind of causing that. So we just ask for patience.
How's it now?
That's one thing. That's
You're
good.
back. You're back. Good.
I'm back.
Yep.
Okay, their bodies were found in 2 groups on the large property where the McFadens rented a home. One group that included
Ivy.
Yeah, Brittany and Riley was found about a quarter of a mile from the home, he said. The bodies were roughly 100 to 150 yards apart in the scene that the Prentice described as staged. He declined to elaborate. Now, I wonder if this was his last go-around. Like, for real?
Oh.
Says Jesse McFadden served nearly 17 years in prison for first-degree rape in 2017. That was like not long ago.
No, not at all.
That was not long ago at all.
Not at all.
He was accused of sending sexually explicit photos to a 16-year-old girl acting out. And that was for sending photos. He was charged with child pornography, soliciting sexual conduct, communications with a minor. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think the judicial system is very soft on these people, considering
That's exactly
you
it.
can't get certain things back. You can't take away
right.
those memories, like he said. You just can't. There's no getting rid of it. It make him even if it doesn't affect him right at this moment, of when it's happening, it can affect them years down the road. It can affect them when they get married. I mean, it's not just the physical attributes and scars that it leaves behind, but it's the emotional, like, get to know was saying, like, this stays with you for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So get to know, I have a situation that's very dear and close to me.
Okay.
And my daughter now has to be in special ed because she doesn't know what appropriate talk is.
Excuse me.
Like when she has the, needs to express herself or
Right.
discuss. And, other kids her age would not understand. She has, what's it called? Agoraphobia, like where she doesn't like being in large groups around people. There's certain people she doesn't want to be around, certain men she doesn't want to be around.
I have agoraphobia. It's basically the fear of leaving your home.
Yeah.
She doesn't like being out in public. And, like you want to take her to the beach and hang out. And if there's more than 10 people there, she's like, no, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So,
I know exactly what she feels like.
And as a mom, you know, trying to navigate this. So hers was kind of like your situation where it went on for years on a regular basis. It wasn't like it happened once. And I'm not saying that it happening once is any lesser of a crime. So please don't no
Right.
one misconstrue that. What I'm
Right.
saying is she now has not just PTSD, but she has like CTPSD where it's chronic.
CTPSD. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm got it. I'm right there with that too.
Yeah. So as a parent trying to navigate her emotions, her feelings, what she's capable of and what she's not capable of, and learning as she's learning, is very, very enlightening and humbling at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Yeah.
because if it happened to you and then it's happened to your kids or you know a close family member, like you can relate to them, but then you're like, oh, I don't want to say too much because I don't need to. You don't want to say too much because you don't want it to change the way they think or they remember something. So you don't want
Right.
them to add anything to their story. It's a hard road to navigate. So like if she wants to
Right.
have a conversation, I'll be like, okay, you can talk and I'll just listen. I don't ask questions. I don't insinuate anything, which is in law enforcement, they call it insinuative questioning. So you can't say, did so and so do this? No, you have to just let them talk
Yeah.
because it's, you know, tainting the witness.
Right.
You know, so you're trying to be there for that person or your child, and at the same time you want to be able to be compassionate, but you have to almost be thinking on law enforcement level when you are having a conversation or when you are handling certain situations so you don't do any extra damage,
Right.
you know.
Inky and I are both moms, and we've discussed this particular situation before and other situations similar to it. And I remember one day when Inky and I were having a talk, we were talking about how difficult it is as a mom that when something happens to your child, and I'm sure any moms in the chat would agree, you find yourself in a situation where you have to stand there and be stoic and you know keep it together and be there for your child and allow your child to talk to you and navigate the path for them and with them, and inside you're just screaming at the top of your lungs because it hurts so bad, and you wish as the mom you could have not ever had whatever the situation was happen to your child, and you wish you could reach inside them and pull that pain and hurt out and get rid of it, and you know intelligently you know you can't do that. So you
Right.
know it's not just the victims, which I am not taking anything away from the victims by any means. They absolutely suffer the most after these situations, but the families of the victims suffer as well.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it's just difficult, and it, you know, luckily in Inky's situation, her relationship with her daughter is very strong. They are very bonded. But many families can fall apart from things like
Oh yeah.
this. And I think it was Arkansas that brought up, because a lot of parents don't know how to deal with this type of a situation. They'll shush the child when the little one is blurting out in front of other family members or friends what has happened to them. They shush the child, and I think that, I mean, I don't know because I'm not a victim of SA, but I would
It's
think
the
that the
worst thing to do.
child feels like, okay, well, I tried and they don't believe me, so I'm done.
If it's crazy, I got numbers for that too. If a child If a child under the age of 4 and under comes to
Mm-hmm.
you and tells you that somebody's doing something to them, there's a 0.02% chance that that child is lying.
Wow.
Yep.
0.02% chance that that child is lying. If a child between the ages of 7 to 4 comes to you,
Mm-hmm.
there's less than a 3% chance that that child is lying to you.
Wow.
So get to know. Are you familiar with the Tanner scoring?
Not off the top of my head. I might be, but
Okay, so by you saying that, there is a Tanner scoring system,
okay.
which I will pull up for you.
While Inky's pulling that up, Alley Cat Tales, I'm not real sure how long you've been in and listening to the chat, love. Just wanted to let you know that the gentleman up on the panel with us is Get to Know. He has a channel. I don't if Arkansas can drop that link again, I think that would be great. So I just encourage everybody to check him out. He has very deep, good discussions on these topics, and certainly could use all of us to kind of spread the word that he's out there and he's talking about this.
We
Yes,
could
most
You're
definitely use the
welcome,
definitely.
love.
help. We could definitely use the help.
Oh
So
wow.
this is called the Tanner scoring system. It's called the Tanner stages. I believe Marzi's heard me discuss this with her.
Yes, ma'am.
So Tanner is basically 1 through 5. And from being abused, your body actually starts physical changes. So, like when he was saying, sometimes this can happen to that person, they when it's so severe that it's happening all the time, that Tanner score goes up and the body begins to mature much quicker than it would
Yep.
normally. And this kind of explains how it works. So, puberty at the time of rapid and complex changes involving overlapping components, hormonal, physical, and cognitive. Tanner staging, also known as the sexual maturity rating, is an objective classification system that providers use to document and track the development and sequence of secondary sex characteristics of children during puberty. It was developed by Marshall and Tanner. Hold on, I gotta move my mic. While conducting a longitudinal study during the 1940s to the 1960s in England based on their observational data. The developed separate scale of developmental of external genitalia, phallus, scrotum, and testes volumes in males, breasts in females, pubic hair in both in males and females. So as that number gets higher, those characteristics show sooner. Okay.
Yep.
So they check your LH, your FH, which is your luteinizing hormone, and your FSH is your follicle stimulating hormone in females. GnRH, same thing. So when those hormones are triggered by the testes of the males or the ovaries by the female, so when one is has long-term abuse, it can trigger those organs to start functioning much earlier. So you remember back way back, like 18th century, when girls were marrying very young. Do we remember those days in other countries?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, like, those hormones were starting to kick in early. Like, My grandmother, I think, probably got married at like 14, 13, you know, um, back in those days. Like, I'm fairly older. So we'll say, she's probably in her hundreds by now. So like 100 years ago, like girls married younger. So moving on.
Yep.
Those hormones were much more prevalent than they have been over in the recent years, because that type of stuff wasn't brushed under the rug, or was more brushed under the rug then, where it wasn't as of recently. It's more of like, that is wrong. And you know what I'm saying without trying to say it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So this test, it says Tanner 2 and 3. Let's see, does it have Tanner 1? Did I skip over it on accident? Tanner staging includes both bone growth, fusion, body composition, and linear growth, and the hemocrit values. The Tanner staging rather than chronological age. So it doesn't fit with the chronological age. So say you have a 5-year-old, you would expect her to be 5 and have a hormones of 0, right? Well, pretty close to 0. Whereas
Right.
one that has been having to go through abuse or been through abuse, their Tanner scores can be much higher. So where was I? So clinical examples of use included delivering timely anticipatory guidance on the menstrual cycle. Menstrual hygiene needed for menarche occurs. Don't give me any menarche. Remember that word? Okay.
Yeah.
Occurs about 2 years post Tanner breast to breast. A targeting scoliosis exam at the well visit before, during the peak of high velocity. Tanners 2 and 3, depending on the sex. So in females, a normal onset of puberty ranges between ages 8 and 13 years of age. Some of us are late bloomers, okay? Averaging the age of 10 in white Americans and age 8.9 in African Americans. Puberty in female begins with the developmental of breast buds under the areolas. As you know, as I don't even know what that word is. I think that should be a space in
Stellarchy.
there. The larky.
Mhm.
Okay. I wonder if that's the testes. Also, okay. Also,
No,
areola, also
it's
known
the
as the
breast buds.
telarche.
Yeah.
And represents entry into the Tanner stage 2. The puberty progresses. The glandular tissue of the breast increases by sizes and changes in contour in the females. The larky is followed in 1 to 1.5 years on the onset of pubic hair. Known as
That-
Pubarchy.
pubarchy, menarche. The onset of menses arrives at the age of 12.5 years, regardless of ethnicity, following the larky on average by 2.5 years. So at Tanner stage 2 or 3 years of development. So, that's closer to normal. And a doctor would say, oh, well, maybe they're just starting early. Maybe they're like an early bloomer. And they do these hormone tests to check. Okay. When one has been being abused, that Tanner score will go to a 4 or 5. And that means that they have started this normal process that would be someone around the age of 10 to 12 at the age of 5. And it'll explain that down here. In males, the onset of puberty ranges between 9 and 14 years of age. The first and secondary characteristics visible is gonarchy. Why are those so hard for me to say? It's like trying to say Mississippi. When the testicular volume reaches greater than or equal to 4 milliliters, or long axis greater than or equal to 2.5 centimeters, and enters the Tanner stage 2. During the Tanner stage 3, the genital development, males undergo a peak height velocity spermarchy, the counterpart of the menarche in females. I guess that's where they start producing sperm. In the developmental of sperm in males, and typically occurs during genital Tanner stage 4. I wish it had the so Tanner stage 5 is the final adult form.
Yeah, Arkansas is saying that she's
I
getting a
agree
little
that there's
uncomfortable with the information.
too many words. Inky is simple, and I'm getting uncomfortable with these words. Okay, so so for instance, I will just put this out there. So you have to take your kids in and, get them checked out for school or whatever. And so I had to address this with the pediatrician, and the pediatrician asked if they could run a test on her. And I said, sure. I go, before you run this test, I would like to explain to you something. And after I got done explaining to him the situation, he's like, I really, really would like to have her hormones checked also. And so he did, and she tanned out at or she stood out, or I called it tannered out. She tannered out at stage 4/5 at the age of 8.
Wow.
So, with
And
that being said,
that's sad. That is so sad.
yes. So I'm
Mhm.
dealing with, her brain going through, what it's going through mentally and emotionally, and then her body physically changing at rapid speed.
Makes a lot of sense.
And,
Yes.
and we all know, because we're adults, that our parents will probably say it was the worst part of their life when we were all going through these stages, normally, so to speak. Um,
Right here.
but it was difficult for us as individuals as well. As young teens to later teens, depending on when you hit your different Tanner stages. So imagine being 8 and you're already at a Tanner 4/5. Mentally and emotionally, you're struggling. Now you're physically going through
Oh,
things that
exactly.
the kids your age are not going to be going through for a couple of years yet. And
Yes, so she was
dealing
homeschooled.
with that emotional stress. I mean, that
So
that
this
is
will give you
just ugh.
an idea of what they're going through. So as far as pH, pubic hair, we're all adults here, I'm pretty sure. There's 8 of us. So, Tanner stage 1 is none, where Tanner stage 5 is there. Okay. When it comes to the female, stage 1, where they would normally be with, nothing there, to everything. And then as far as the males go, so if she was a boy, you know, it explains like testicular volume. I mean, that would be a full grown male at 18. So it only goes to stage 4 and 5 is actually hyphenated, because there's just that small area of difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I looked
Yeah.
at the scale physically on her paperwork, it says 1, 2, 3, and then it says 4-5. So can you imagine what would be going through their mind? Like, they don't understand why, they're still supposed to be playing with Barbies. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or GI Joes.
Or G.I. Joes, exactly.
I mean,
So now
I
it's
mean,
I remember both of my daughters, and I sat them down and had the talk, because I started picking up on cues here and there that, oh, we're heading in that direction, and explained to them fully what was going to happen. And I remember the first day that each of them got their menses, them freaking out, even though they were well informed and educated about, this is on its way and this is what you're going to do. And if you're not with mom, and luckily both of them caught it in the morning as they were getting ready to go to school, so I was able to help them out and whatnot. But imagine being younger than 12, 13,
Mm-hmm.
and this happening to you, and
Yeah, it's
truly
a
not
trip.
expecting it to happen at that age. That you don't think about that at age 8. You're thinking about, like Inky said, playing with Barbies, flying kites, uh, doing
Playing with GI
artwork,
Joes.
getting on mom and
Yeah,
dad's
Joe.
nerves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I'm sorry. I keep thinking in the realm of females. I'm sorry, get to know.
How many Legos can we leave in the floor for mom to step on?
Right, chasing the cat or the
Right.
dog around the house. Getting
Wiping
an
boogers on girls. I
attack on
mean,
the slide. I mean, staying up late and not having to adhere to a curfew. I mean, these are normal things an 8-year-old is thinking about. Um,
yeah.
it just I can't fathom it. I can't, and I have to say, I have a relationship to the best of my ability with Inky's daughter, and I am so honored that she has chosen to include me in her life. I'm not there, obviously. Inky and I live on opposite sides of the United States, but I do talk to her, and she's very appropriate with me. She really is. Inky's doing a lot of hard work with her, and so is her schools. But I'm very honored that she trusts me, and she's comfortable with me to include me in her life. So
Can we take a pause for a minute? Arkansas said, let us pray.
yes,
So we'll have a moment of silence. And we'll pray for all those beautiful children and adults that have been abused mentally, physically. And give them their moment of recognition of how strong they are to get through one of the most difficult things that someone can go through.
I think I'd
And
also
that it
like
repairs their heart.
I'd like to put prayers out there for people who, like me, were blessed to not have experienced this, that our minds remained open, and that we involve ourselves in conversations like the one we're having now, so that we can gain a better understanding and be of assistance to those who have suffered.
Amen. Arkansas says, G2K, so you were denied a grant recently. Were you going for a grant to?
Yeah, I was denied. I found out Monday that I didn't get it. I mean, I was kind of bummed out about it, but it was the first time I ever applied for a grant, and it was a $1.5 million grant for bringing awareness into communities and helping come up with a task force to. Okay, a lot of people think that the National Sex Offender Registry and their state sex offender registry it's a good thing, but it's a great concept, but it's a failed program. Like, yeah, we can find out where these pedophiles live and whatnot, and keep our kids safe that way. But what people don't understand is, as soon as these parasites get let off of probation or released from parole, and they got tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, depending on what state you're in. And like tier 3 is like your VSP, your violent sexual predator. And stage 1, like, I don't believe in stages. If you're a sexual deviant, you're a sexual deviant and whatnot. So a lot of people don't know that once they get released off probation or parole, that there's nobody to oversee that they're staying compliant with the rules and the regulations of being a registered sex offender. Because like my wife and I know this firsthand, because my abuser, who's still alive, unfortunately, he was non-compliant for over 18 months, and my wife's abuser was non-compliant until the day he died. And
Oh, wow.
it just so happened that both of them were from the same town, but yet they didn't, I don't believe they knew each other. But I called the sex crimes division detective, and they basically laughed at me because I said, look, there's this guy here, here's their addresses, they're non-compliant, they've been non-compliant for over a year now.
Do something.
Here's their addresses.
Right.
Now do something. They're like, we don't have the means to do that. Like, what do you mean? They're breaking the law. But if I called you and told you, that I just seen this dude hitting the crack pipe, I guarantee you'd be right on that.
I was just
You know what I mean?
thinking, as you were saying all this, I was just thinking, if this is falling into the realm of probation and parole, the first thing they're going to say is they don't have enough staff.
Yep, and they do. And that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth.
Wow.
And
what are
it
your
breaks my heart.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on there being, instead of each state having their own, I guess guidelines would be the best word to use. Do you think there should be a national?
I think all crimes against children, whether it's sexually related or not, I think all crimes against children should be federally mandated into federal law. That way, there's no going back and forth, and well, this state says this and this state has that, and because sometimes these criminals that are doing this are committing states but live in different states and have different victims in different states, and it makes it all confusing, and it really makes it hard for a victim to get justice. That's one of the main things that we wanted, that we're trying to fight for and work towards over on Get to Know, is getting all crimes against children federally mandated into federal law, so there's no more state bullshit.
Wow.
I don't know how to say it. Like,
no, I think that's an awesome idea. I often feel, okay, I'm a teacher, and currently I work from home. I tutor online, and I've been involved in state assessments, the scoring of them, and very much like what you're describing, the guidelines for these state assessments differ from state to state. And it often frustrates me in this area of education. It's like, okay, we want all of our children of a certain age group to be able to do A, B, C, D, whatever. Of the standards, and I think they should be national standards as opposed to state standards. I agree. When you think about like a lot of the Asian countries, their students way excel. I mean, they are all educated in a way that they are all going to succeed, and they're going to succeed very highly. And that's where I think there are many things other than education where we need to look on a national level as opposed to a state level. Why would that not fall into the federal catchment? I just don't get that.
Yeah. There's only, there's really not very many sex crimes against children that are federal, that go federal, like if they can prove that you have transferred explicit material with children in it from state to state, they could go federal on you. But really one of the only, they got to have pretty solid proof of it. But then again, there's really not very many people that get brought up on federal charges for it. you really only see the trafficking, human trafficking and whatnot be brought up in the federal court, and it just bugs me. It really bugs me.
If you were successful in getting that grant and developing that task force, would this be part of their to-do list, so to speak, is to basically study each state's guidelines for SA on children and kind of develop what they would then pose for national consideration?
This grant was more focused on. It was weird how I found it, because like all the things that I talked about and that I wanted to see changed basically were in this grant, were covered in this grant. They wanted ideas on developing a task force to monitor the sex offenders from each town in the country and whatnot, and ways to create awareness about how just all kinds of stuff. There were so many things that you could have used that I could use this money for, and
right.
Just all kinds of stuff, and just the attacking the laws, right down to a certain amount of money to help get laws changed, if that's what you wanted to do. Like there was only
Right.
there was only 9 grants. There was like almost 100,000 people that applied for this grant.
Oh, I bet. Arkansas brought up some really good points. Writing for a grant is a very difficult task. So I guess I have 2 questions for you. One of which is, did you utilize somebody who is familiar with writing for grants? And the second question I had was, did they at least give you feedback as to maybe what you didn't do right, I guess is the word to use, that caused you not to get the grant?
Sorry, your first question was,
did you use anybody to help write the grant?
No, I used myself. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I kind of looked into a grant writer, but they all wanted so much
Money.
They wanted dates, and I'm disabled. I like I said, I'm married. My wife's my 24/7 caregiver, so she can't go out and have a regular 9-to-5 job. I got 2 teenage kids, and basically we live off of my disability each month. So like I don't have the money to do that. You know what I mean? So basically what it came down to is they liked quite a few of my ideas, but because I didn't have the proper terminology and it was written like, I'm not really good at spelling, and I'm not really good at reading. So
And do you contribute that to the abuse at all?
Oh, absolutely. Like so for me, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and when he came home, he went through his tours in Vietnam and without a scratch, and he gets home and he was at work blowing insulation. He was working for an insulation company, and the fan off the motor that they used to blow the insulation in the attics came off, and it came down and cut like half of his calf muscle off, and then it came back up and took part of his ankle off. And so anyway, he was disabled, and he was a really bad alcoholic for like the first 14 years of my life. And like when I'd go to school, I knew what was going to happen when I got to school. Like I was bullied, I was picked on, I was pushed around. I was the poor kid. I was the outcast. And so I knew what was going to happen there. And then I'd get in class and whatever. And it didn't happen. I wasn't abused every day like some people are. And that's got to be horrible. but it happened enough that I would worry about it on a day-to-day basis, and like I just couldn't focus. I legitimately couldn't focus on my schoolwork. Like there were so much other things, like how drunk was my dad going to be? Were my uncles going to be there? Because my uncles were some of the biggest bullies I've ever met in my life, and was this parasite going to be there today? And invite and taking, just all kinds of stuff. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
my learning disabilities that I got, like, are, I consider them directly. I can relate them anyway directly to the sexual abuse that I received, and like I don't know, my whole life's just been a struggle, and things are going kind of positive for me right now, and I just got to do this. I just got to do this. I just got to do this because
It's a driving
um,
force, isn't it?
every day in my life, like people don't get it. Like I'll come up, I'll do a live, I'll be on there for an hour or two and whatnot, and I'll get off, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm yeah. It's exhausting, and it's not easy. It's not easy for me to get up there and do this because I got social anxiety, antisocial anxiety disorder, extreme anxiety disorder. I mean, just a slew of stuff, and like I surround myself. It sounds weird, but I surround myself in this stuff every single day. There's not a day go by that I'm not looking up cases and looking up this person getting off of this sentence, and just it's 81% or 88% of the United States of America citizens have been a victim of some kind of sexual assault in their lifetime. That is absolutely ridiculous, man. 88% of all
Mhm.
U.S. citizens have been a victim of sexual assault at one point in time or another in their life. Like, if you,
That's because our country doesn't believe in the corporal punishment. Like if we were in the Middle East, you'd lose an arm, you would lose it's those things. In some places it doesn't happen as much because their punishment is so severe. Where here it's more like a slap on the hand. If you can get them to get that, you have to be able
Right,
to
right,
prove it.
right.
And they
right.
want
Now,
undoubtedly amount of evidence
I,
to prove such an offense.
I kind of wanted to dovetail on what Get to Know is saying right now as far as his educational career and the issues he was going through at the time. Can I share something on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, Get to Know in the private chat, I put my email address.
okay.
Please feel free to use that to contact me. And if you wouldn't mind sharing your grant proposal, I would love to look through it.
Okay.
I'm not purporting to be a grant writer.
Right.
However, I wrote a doctorate dissertation, and they're very similar. So, if you want, I could take a look at it and maybe give you some suggestions. I'm not sure if that's what you want. If you don't want to, that's fine.
All right.
That's just
Yeah.
offering a little bit of help.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Alley Cat says, why don't we just educate about how damaging it is? Stop letting it be swept under the rug. Amen. We do it
I
Amen.
all too
agree.
Amen.
often.
Okay.
Amen.
And
Thank you whenever you're ready.
one more is Arkansas said, just keep pushing on. Push forward.
I can
Keep pushing forward.
I can guarantee you I will do this until there's no parasites left in the world, or until the day I die. Period. I will not stop. I won't stop. I can't stop. And like, we just crossed over 2 hours on this live, and that's 60 children now that have been victimized and have lost their innocence to some parasite.
Yep. just let me know when you've started sharing it. Oh, do we have it up there? We have it up there. Okay. Just to kind of let you guys know, because what Get to Know was just talking about as far as um, his struggles in education. This is called Maslow's hierarchy, and actually his name is right here, Abraham Maslow. And this, when you're going for your teaching degree, this is one of the things that they teach you. And this pyramid is set up into 5 different areas of basically of life. Okay. And in order for a child to succeed in school, these 5 different areas need to be met. And as we are as adults all aware that you have to have a very strong foundation and then build upon it. So whenever you're looking at this, you want to start at the bottom. And the first needs that have to be met immediately are the physiological needs, like breathing, food, water. We'll skip the S word there. Sleep, homeostasis, things like a lot of schools. I mean, it's very common today that there are schools that offer breakfast, and it's not just because a child may come from a very low income family. It's because if you're a child and you're in school and your family couldn't afford breakfast to give you, or mom and dad or mom or dad aren't functioning at a level where they can even prepare breakfast for you, and you're maybe not old enough to prepare it for yourself, when you get to school, what is going to be on your mind? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And you're not going to tune in to what you're supposed to be learning. In Get to Know's case, the one thing that was constantly going through his mind, he stated, was his safety at home. So if a child is living in an environment where they don't feel safe, chances are they're not going to do well in school. They're going to struggle. School may be a good place for them in the sense that maybe they feel safe there. And it's a good way to kind of distract them in a sense from what awaits them at home. But they're not going to be fully tuned in if their physiological needs are not taken care of. Then we move up to safety, security of your body, security of employment, resources, the family, the health, so on. Mom and dad lose their job. Mom or dad lose their job. Children are not stupid. They know the family's going to struggle financially, and they're going to be concerned about that. And if these safety needs are not taken care of, this is going to be the thought that they're processing all day long. Love and belonging, the next step. They need to have a sense of friendship, a sense of family, and a sense of when they say intimacy, it's more like they're not talking about, they want to have a partner. They're talking more in the sense of the child knows that he or she has privacy at home. Nobody's going to walk in on them when they're using the toilet, when they're taking a shower, when they're in their bedroom sleeping or changing their clothes. The next step up is esteem. And we learn our self-esteem through the way people in our family and in our friend circle and in our school environment treat us. So a child needs to develop a sense of confidence in themselves and that they are able to achieve things, but they also have to learn how to respect others. And somebody who's going through a situation like Get to Know is describing to all of us, they're not going to build that confidence. They're not they're thinking that by not telling on this person, they're respecting that person, but they also know that they're not being respected by that person. And then, of course, the last area is the self-actualization, and this is has a lot to do with, say, mid to late teens, but they do start to develop this in their excuse me, elementary ages. Things like morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving. A lot of times, children who come from situations such like Get to Know is explaining, or just from families who are low income and they struggle constantly every single day, they lack that ability to solve problems, to have those problem solving skills, because everything just seems so helpless to them. And they truly feel like, well, it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to get any better. So this is the reason that Get to Know struggled academically, because of what he was going through. These 5 different areas that needed to be taken care of were not being taken care of. Therefore, his mind was not focused on learning. His mind was more focused on surviving. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does it
Sounds
help?
like you've known me. It sounds like you've known me my whole life.
No, I'm certainly not going to say that. But, you know, being an educator, it's something that I learned a long time ago. It's something that I fall back on a lot. When I teach, I'm laid back like I am with you guys. I've never been a stand up in front of the classroom, you know, lecture type of person. I want my students to feel comfortable with me, because I don't want them to feel like they're going to disappoint me if they answer something incorrectly, or if they ask a question that they feel is stupid. So I take this information that's in this pyramid to heart every time I'm dealing with my students, every single time. I worked with a student tonight. We do one-to-one math. She's in 8th grade, and she has a cat named Napoleon. And for some reason, math is his thing. We see each other online while we're going through our session, and Napoleon is always right there, and he's always watching the screen. And I mean, I'm not stupid. I know the cat's not in the math. He's probably interested because he sees me writing on the board and whatnot. But it's something that her and I will laugh about for a few minutes during the session, and it really relaxes her, and it helps her focus better. And I think that falls into that esteem, that purple level, where I'm making sure that, you know, she's feeling respected by me, and she respects me in return. So,
Right.
all right, that'll be $5 a piece. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But it's important. It's important information for all of us to remember.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there we go.
But it's 3:33 in the morning where I'm at right now. So my wife's sitting here saying, "Come on, babe, it's time we go to bed." So I want to thank you guys for the probably the most warmest welcome I've had into any community YouTube so far. I really appreciate it. I just happened to stumble across this channel, said you guys were live, so I thought I'd come and check it out. And
I was going to ask you how you found Inky's channel. You just kind of stumbled across it?
Yep, I just going through, like, we don't watch regular TV.
Oh, We can't hear you.
How about now?
No, much better. Much better.
Okay. I guess it would help if I took my hand off the speaker, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
we all do that. Listen, I know Inky's not on the panel right now. Like I said, she really has been having some internet issues, and I will contact her in a minute, see what she wants to do. I feel comfortable in speaking on her behalf in that both her and I are very grateful that you came up on the panel tonight. I'm pretty sure the chat members enjoyed the sharing of the information that you shared with us. We posted your link a couple of times, and I encourage the folks in the chat to please go over to Get to Know's channel and check him out. Subscribe to him. Like I said at the beginning of our discussion, I think even though it's a difficult topic, it's necessary to step out of our comfort zones and definitely, share our thoughts and learn some things from each other. Get to know, to let you know, Inky does discussions like this and other topics, but she also has bingo nights.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So if you and your wife are into playing bingo, and you don't have to be like a crotchety 58-year-old like I am to play, you can be any age. It's a lot of fun. There are prizes. So it just, I don't know. I mean, the chat can tell you how they feel about it, but it seems like we all have a pretty good time when we play. So please share with your members her channel if you wouldn't mind.
I will most definitely do. I will most definitely
Okay.
I appreciate you guys being so nice and let me come up and get to know you guys. One last thing real quick. Just remember, one child is one too many, and tell your friends about me because they're going to want to know. Thanks, ladies. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Yeah, please don't forget to grab my email address before you leave. Totally.
I got it. I got it. I'll definitely be in touch with you, ma'am.
All right, great. Have
All right.
a good rest of the evening. Get some rest.
I will, and thank you again, and tell Inky that I said thank you as well. I appreciate it.
I will. I'm actually, folks, I'm going to give her a call. Let me mute for a second and find out what she wants to do. Because we could run rampant, like run with scissors in here, and she wouldn't even know. So,
Yeah, and if my wife found out that I was even close to a pair of scissors, she'd kick my ass. So.
yeah. That's a story for another day.
Oh yeah. Sharp objects and things that are heavy, and just if I can get hurt by it, she just doesn't let me have it because I can get hurt by it because I get hurt.
Oh Lord,
So,
help us! Definitely want to
yes,
hear more about that. Okay,
well, I got stories for days, man. Have a good night.
Don't we all?
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to mute real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
All right. Have a good night.
I found her. I grabbed her by the nape of her neck and said, "Girl, get up here." No. Now she's up here, but I'm not hearing her. Are you guys hearing me? Ooh. Okay, maybe it's because my speaker was muted. Okay, so Arkansas says she can hear me, but we're not hearing Miss Inky. Inky, do you want to shut down for the night? Just type it in